Okay, so 12 days ago, someone became the first trillionaire in human history. Not just a billionaire, a trillionaire. SpaceX had just gone public. The stock opened at $135. Within 72 hours, it hit $225. That founder's net worth, $1.2 trillion. The crowd went wild. CNBC couldn't stop talking about it. Every finance bro on Twitter suddenly had a take. And then, this week happened. SpaceX got obliterated, down 16% in a single day. The stock went from $225 to $154. And I'm not kidding here, over $200 billion in about a week. $200 billion, gone. So what the hell just happened? Look, the SpaceX IPO was already insane. $135 a share. Valuation over $1 trillion. Bigger than Meta. Bigger than Tesla at its peak. Retail investors were treating it like a religion. People were camping out on Reddit, calling it the next Apple. Some guy on TikTok took out a second mortgage to buy shares. I'm not even joking. And honestly, the hype made sense on paper. SpaceX isn't some startup with a PowerPoint and a dream. They've got actual rockets, actual satellites. Starlink is literally beaming internet to remote villages right now. The government contracts are stacked. NASA loves them, the military loves them. But then, Monday morning, SpaceX drops this bomb. We're buying an AI startup called Cursor. Price tag? $60 billion. Let me put that in perspective for you. $60 billion is more than Ford is worth, more than General Motors. It's nearly double what Disney paid for Fox. And SpaceX just announced it. Like it was no big deal. But here's the part that made the market absolutely vomit. It's an all-stock deal. That means SpaceX isn't writing a check. They aren't dipping into cash reserves. They're printing new shares out of thin air. So if you owned SpaceX stock on Sunday, you woke up Monday morning owning less of the company. Your slice of the pie just got cut in half and served to Cursor's founders. The big short guy? The one who made $1 billion betting against the housing market while everyone else was drunk? He absolutely destroyed SpaceX this week. He said that SpaceX is basically a small space company, a niche telecom, a broken social media app. Now, is he right? I don't know. Maybe he's just salty he missed the IPO. But when he speaks, people listen. The fear was palpable. You could feel it through the screen. Now here's why this matters beyond one person's ego. Because let's be real, the founder losing a couple $100 billion is not going to change their life. They still own about 42% of SpaceX. They still own Tesla. They still own X. They're still one of the richest people to ever walk the earth. But when the stock drops 30% from its peak in a single week, and I know, cry me a river, right? Poor guy only has $800 billion left. But the point isn't whether they can pay rent. The point is what this tells us about the market. Because here's the bigger question. Is SpaceX even a space company anymore? Think about it. You don't drop $60 billion on an AI startup if rockets are your future. You don't dilute your shareholders into oblivion for a side project. You do it because you think AI is the real business, the real money, the real future. And maybe they're right. Maybe AI is worth more than space. Maybe Cursor is the next OpenAI, and this deal looks genius in 5 years. They didn't sign up for that. They bought SpaceX because they wanted space, rockets, Mars, Starlink, the final frontier. They didn't buy in to watch the company pivot to AI and turn their rocket stock into a software company. And they definitely didn't buy in to get diluted overnight, so they voted with their sell buttons. Hard. And honestly, I can't blame them. So here's where it gets interesting. Some analysts are saying, hey, $154 is actually a steal. It's still above the IPO price. The Cursor deal could make SpaceX the next AI giant. You're getting two businesses for the price of one, space and artificial intelligence. That's a bargain. Others are saying, nah, this is the top. This is the everything bubble popping, and SPCX is heading back to double digits. Management got greedy. They overpaid, they diluted their own shareholders, and now the market is going to punish them for months. Me? I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. SpaceX is still a real company with real revenue and real technology. It's not a meme stock. But sick Cursor? That feels like peak euphoria to me. That feels like a leadership team that just hit trillionaire status and got drunk on their own hype. And I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole until the dust settles. Because right now, nobody knows what SpaceX is actually worth. Is it a space company? An AI company? A telecom? A social media disaster? Until the market figures that out, this stock is going to be a roller coaster, and not the fun kind. So I want to know from you, would you buy SpaceX at $154? Do you think this is the dip to buy? Or are you watching from the sidelines, popcorn in hand, waiting to see if it drops to $100? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to know what the Federal Reserve just said that could crash the entire market, not just this one company, but the whole damn thing, hit subscribe. That video drops tomorrow. See you then.